Ready?
Rolling.
Welcome to The Most Important Thing. I'm Danielle DeMarco Neufeld,
And I'm Greg Neufeld.
and together we're exploring how ambitious, busy families can build culture at home.
Because, after all, family is the most important thing.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, Danielle.
We have come to my favorite topic of all,
Oh, yeah?
family play.
Family play. You are a playful one.
So are you, in different ways.
Yes, in different ways.
I love games and moving my body and being curious. And you are very playful with language.
With language and with song, with pop culture. And I can get into a good board game so long as I'm comfortable. I find that as I am reaching my old age, the most important thing for me is to be able to sit comfortably. And for some reason, no one figured out how to do that with board games, really. You're usually in some uncomfortable, contorted position on the floor at a coffee table, kneeling, or have one leg pinned behind you while you're trying to move a piece or get a card from somebody. It's just not easy. Dads, can you get with me on this one?
Greg, you're laying the groundwork for my next episode and experiment on family space and what I'm going to ask of you. So,
Oh,
yeah,
all right.
it involves board games. Let's put it that way.
Sounds good.
Okay, so family play. Life is play.
Life is play.
According to Dr. Stuart Brown, founder of the National Institute of Play, play isn't just a fun diversion, it's developmental glue. And within families, play fosters connection, resilience, emotional regulation, and creativity across all ages. In families, this translates to stronger bonds, better communication, and a more joyful home. So, what is play? For me, play is a state of mind, I have to tell you. I can hop into it in all sorts of different ways, whether it's Wordle or connections on my phone, or putting a slack line out front, or other types of competitive challenges that we do with our bodies, to a good old board game or puzzle. I love all of those things. And I'm sure more if I thought about it.
What is a slack line for those of you out there who don't know?
I don't know. How would you describe the slack line? It's a line that you try to walk on that is very difficult. It's like a tightrope.
It's like a tightrope that you can string between two objects. It's like a TRX band that's really, really tight, but it still has a lot of give. And I got to tell you, I can get like 2 steps on it. Danielle can get it all the way across now.
Not consistently, though.
It's hard.
The first time I ever saw it, I was traveling for work in Sao Paulo, and I saw these really athletic surfer guys string up a slack line between 2 palm trees and just go at it time after time after time, falling and falling and falling. And I thought it was so cool.
Yeah. Now we have one.
And now we have one.
So cool.
How about you? What do you think of when you think of play?
Growing up, it was a lot of street play, whether it was baseball or basketball or riding bikes. But I grew up on a quiet street with lots of young kids. So there was a lot of neighborhood activity. And then we also had woods behind our houses. So we would play in the woods. We would play manhunt, and we had trampolines. And so I think of outdoorsy things for sure. That's kind of like what I grew up with. We had a basement full of games too, but to tell you the truth, ping pong is the one that I remember most fondly. I can't think of breaking out those Monopoly type games more than a couple times in my childhood.
Interesting. Yeah, as a child, I played outside a lot also. We too had woods in our backyard, and I'm an only child, but my dad is a play master.
He is.
So we spent a lot of time running football plays and hitting baseballs and playing every type of catch imaginable, between trackball and those things with the sticky suction. I mean, any type of catch game he was into. And then we made up games a lot. Like me and my friends growing up, I remember I had a canopy bed, and we used to take all the hats in the house and put it on top of the canopy and then play the hat game, where we would count like who could knock off the most hats in 30 seconds. It was one of our favorite games. I think about it to this day. The car game, same thing. How many times can you run up and down the driveway before another car came? Lots of fun and creative things that kept us laughing and out of boredom.
I love that.
Yeah. But what about as an adult? How do you like to play?
Oh, I can get tunnel vision on most anything. And so I find that if I find myself procrastinating with something online, it's usually my form of play,
Hmm.
which is maybe it's reading a certain type of industry news blog or something like that, or, going deep on a Substack or X but it's honestly, it's so lame when I say this out loud because my play is learning more about business builders and
Hmm.
entrepreneurs. And I don't do enough of the neuroplasticity development when it comes to expanding my mind through games.
I don't know about that. Well, what I'd like to talk about today is how we can broaden what we define as play and learn a bit more about how each of us individually like to play
Yeah.
and how our children do, and create these different play groupings, if you will, like thinking about how to play in a loose but constructive manner.
Cool.
Yeah. So, what is play? Well, Dr. Stuart Brown, who, as I mentioned, he's the founder of the National Institute of Play and quite the guru. Dr. Brown eschews defining play. I always look for a good opportunity to use that word, stating that defining play almost defeats its purpose. But he did give a loose framework of the contours that distinguish it from other activities. So, as far as the things that are play, it is apparently purposeless, done for its own sake, not for a specific outcome. It's voluntary, freely chosen, not required. It has an inherent attraction. It's fun and engaging, and we're drawn to it. You are free from time. You often lose track of time while playing. Diminished self-consciousness, so you're not self-critical or worried about how you look while you're playing. Improvisational potential. It's flexible and often spontaneous. And finally, there's a continuation desire. You want it to keep going or to come back to it.
I want to change my answer a little bit
Okay. I didn't know what the question was.
about what I think of when I think of play. So
Mm.
the outdoor play, that was the collaborative, but there's lots of play that I did as a kid that just consumed hours and hours. And interestingly, it was either setting up or taking apart electronic equipment,
Mm.
trying new software, or recording my own voice. And I'm like laughing so hard because this to me feels like play.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Lots of recording, lots of singing, lots of uh, just trying to be on the radio, as a kid
Mhm.
and recording music with friends. I just loved the idea of being on the microphone. So don't let me take up too much
How
airtime here.
meta. Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I love hearing that. And why play matters for families, because ultimately that's what we're talking about, right? Couple things. Play builds emotional safety, so it's about attachment and trust. Families that play together are creative and adaptable. It's a great way to stay flexible. Play rehearses life in low stakes ways, so it can bring forth resilience and the family's ability to problem solve. And finally, you want to keep coming back.
Indeed.
So, these are some reasons why play matters. Have I convinced you yet that we should further our exploration of play?
Well, I think it was either Thanksgiving or Christmas, the first one that we spent together with your parents. And I was looking around for your dad, and he was nowhere to be found. And I look in the TV room, we're at your cousin's house, and he's on the floor with all the little kids playing. And I was like, oh man, this is great. Because when we have kids, he's going to love this. And that's not really me.
Yeah.
So I want to learn a little bit from that, as long as I'm comfortable, and engage in play. So this episode is exciting for me because I feel like I'm the guinea pig here.
Totally. It's exciting for me too, because I think I may have stumbled upon a framework that can be helpful in having you kind of move the ball forward or integrate play. Because it's true, you are such a loving, doting father. But playing with our kids or playing with me
Nope.
is not necessarily something that you currently spend a lot of time doing.
Yeah.
And I would guess you're not alone.
I would imagine not.
Okay, so how? How do we play within our families? Well, Dr. Stuart Brown identifies 8 play personalities to help people understand how they naturally play. His insight is that not everyone plays the same way, and that recognizing your style and the style of other members in your family can help you invite more authentic, joyful play into family life.
Cool.
Yeah, so it turns out that they have identified, as I mentioned, 8 different play personalities. And if you're open to it, I would love to have you take the play personality quiz live so we can figure out your play style.
Sounds great. Let's do it.
Okay, great. Should I go through the different play styles?
If that is good precedent, then yes.
I think so. So there's the joker, who brings joy and laughter to any room. The kinesthete, where your body leads the fun. The explorer, curiosity is your playground. The competitor, games and challenges are your jam. The director, you love shaping the play experience. The collector, you find delight in gathering what you love. The artist or creator, making things is your kind of play. And the storyteller, words and imagination are where you shine.
Yeah. I grew up with a director, my mom.
Oh.
Loved to organize the play. Just loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd say my dad was probably on the kinesthetic side. Let's go play tennis. Let's go play basketball. Let's play baseball. He was my coach and everything. And he showed up in athletic ways and just always wanted to be thinking as that as a way for us to connect.
Okay. Very cool. Now let's see what you are.
Yep.
Okay. First question. You have $50 that you have to spend on one of the following items. What do you get? A ridiculous hat, a pair of binoculars, a ticket to a writing workshop, or a set of traffic cones?
I think a pair of binoculars.
Okay. Your new podcast is most likely to be called It Started With One, My Quest to Complete My Collection. The Neighborhood, Fascinating Backstories I Have Made Up for People I Don't Know. You Can't Make a Podcast About That, My Journey in Making Abstract Art. Or How to Do Stuff, Weekly Instructions for Doing Stuff.
The Neighborhood, Fascinating Backstories I've Made Up for People I Don't Know.
Sweet. You're already excited about that.
I really,
Stay
might
tuned.
have to do a couple episodes.
Okay, next question. Surprise! Your home suddenly has a new spacious bedroom. You immediately set to work converting it into a space to organize and display your collection, a dance studio, a decked out space for your gaming PC, or an art studio.
If I have to take all those literally, then it would be a space to organize and display your collection.
Okay. I bet if it had said some type of electronics.
Like if it was like a CrossFit studio or, something that wasn't
your
a
CrossFit
gaming
stuff is kind of your collection.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. You haven't seen your long distance best friend in months. You pick them up at the airport and take them straight to a place you've never been before so you can check it out together, your latest eBay purchase for your collection, show them your latest bargain find from online classifieds, or show them a painting you've been working on.
Place I've never been before, but is one of the best places in the world.
Oh, cool. Yeah, you're so good at that. Okay. Your new YouTube series features you performing tricks you learned in your circus arts class, discussing the nuances of a highly specific niche interest, just 3 minutes of making weird faces, explaining how you managed to beat a video game that you just came out of.
Explaining how I managed to beat a video game.
Okay. Sorry, that just came out.
Yes.
Okay. 3 more questions.
I loved playing games growing up on N64 and the Wii and stuff like that, but my favorite was following the book hacks about how to beat those games, like the online guides. I forget the website, but that was my favorite.
Cool. Me too. Super Mario hacks.
Yeah.
I loved.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You work at an elementary school now, but at least you get to pick your position. You're the librarian, art teacher, PE instructor, principal, or janitor that everyone adores because you're hilarious.
Interesting. I guess I'm the principal.
Of course you are. Everyone at your school or work has to join a club. What club do you join? The fiction writing club, improv group, trading card club, marathon training club? Or I'm starting a club for the people who think they shouldn't have to join clubs.
Improv group all day.
Last question. You just parked at your favorite city park. What is next? Find some folks for a pickup game of something? Find a new hiking trail and give it a try. Go for a run and try to beat your time from your last visit. Or go make up backstories for the squabbling ducks.
Go for a run and try to beat my time.
Dun da da da.
What is my play type?
Your play type is Explorer.
Okay.
The Explorer plays through learning. They want to know and understand. This type of play is a way of orienting to the world as a learner. Explorer type play personalities may enjoy leisure time spent reading nonfiction, traipsing through a forest, looking for a particular bug or fern, or tracking tides to know exactly when to time their best beachcombing adventure.
Okay.
How does that resonate with you?
I mean, I did make a Tides app for our beach, so that, and not a Tides app, but a beach flag app.
You did.
So that tracks. I think that if you abstract out the nature part, that's very much me.
Yeah.
I don't think it has to be nature to be an explorer, because I like nature, but it's not where I grew up. I grew up playing on the street or inside with my toys.
Yeah. Yeah, I think nature could be substituted for technology. I also think that quizzes like this are fun and helpful to show maybe your dominant play characteristics. Because I came up Explorer too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I would say I'm probably like 60% Explorer, 20% kinesthetic.
What about the 90% competitor?
I was going to give myself like 10%. Anyway, low-key competitor. Yeah, I love all of these things. And we'll link into the show notes to the quiz and then also to the little graphic that they have on the way that adults play. But to me, it's much more of a love language kind of thing, where maybe you have your dominant love language, but your top 3 or 4 are all relevant to, because humans are complex, right?
Sure.
So I don't know if you, looking at this little infographic that I have in front of you, if there are any besides Explorer that resonate with you.
The storyteller, I would say too. I really do like making up silly stories and improving with the kids and just in general.
And then what about thinking about our kids? I mean, we can certainly ask them as well, but are there any that come to mind?
They would say I'm the Joker.
They would say you're the Joker.
Because that's just
I know. You FaceTimed every funny face today already.
Yeah, exactly. Little kids and FaceTime emojis are just putty in my hand.
Yeah. And I think they would definitely say that I'm the director.
Right.
I do a lot of play galvanizing, if you will.
So there's a lot here. What are we trying to advance and take away?
So I think why this matters is that knowing your family's play personalities can reduce resistance to play. Knowing that you're not forcing yourself into someone else's play style.
Okay.
And it invites connection.
For sure.
Yeah. So again, knowing your style, knowing the style of the other folks in your family, you can say, I see you. I'm going to play with you your way for now. And we're going to play my way later.
Yeah.
You know?
Usually we're thinking about experiments that are measurable and time-bound. Is that the case here, or is this something else?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this is the most intentionally abstract experiment that we could ask for. I mean, like I said, the guy who is the play guru hates defining it and says that it almost defeats its purpose. He said that defining play is like explaining a joke.
Sure.
It kind of loses it. So I keep going to this idea of a playful state of mind. I've heard it, in Amy McCready's positive parenting solution. She just talks about it as the child state as opposed to the adult ego state. But it's this feeling of playfulness. I think that you know when you are in it. And so what I am asking, however you want to structure the experiment works for me, but is to bring moments of playfulness to your day. And this is really an ask of me to you, not just with our children. That's great, but I think for yourself and for the two of us together. I think we play when we're working out. We love playing at work. We love playing on this podcast. But I was scared to ask you if you had played Settlers of Catan with me last week.
I know.
So if we could just lower the barrier to entry there, that would be great, I think. Personally, selfishly, I appreciate that.
Yeah, what's showing up here is invitations for play. So our kids all went to, and 2 of them still go to, this amazing outdoor nature pre-K program called Sunflower Creative Arts, and throughout the playscape, there are invitations for play. Some are crafts, some are nature-based, some are adventure-based, but then they switch them up.
I'm looking at them funny because crafts, they would hate if you said that word,
Yeah,
crafts.
I know.
They're open-ended invitations.
Right.
So they'll put out a lot of things.
I meant like putting out
But
shaving
how
cream
you-
and like, you know,
Right, but how
random
you
stuff.
use them is up to the personality. That's the whole point, is
Yes.
that they're not contrived.
Yes. And so I'm wondering if there's an opportunity for us to create invitations for play for ourselves. Not necessarily for the kids, but I know that you have some plans when it comes to space, and I believe that's going to integrate with what we're talking about here.
Easter egg for future episode.
Yep.
But also, Greg, what do you think the slack line is?
I know, but I mean for me.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking you are very good at asking for what you need with invitations for play for yourself and for the kids.
Yes.
Those things usually do not appeal to me.
Okay.
And so I think that if I can look for some invitations for play, which would be really nice because it's not all on you to come up with those. And you and I can talk about what some of those invitations for play that I would like to engage in, both for me and our kids and for you around the house. I think that would feel really like the right type of experiment.
That's awesome. I love hearing that. Yeah. I would love, and I'm happy to help you with this, but I would love if we had some invitations for play that appeal to you around our home the way that we do for me and the kids, whether we have a slack line or a sensory swing or balance boards or puzzles in every room, board games around every corner. There are constant reminders to the rest of us that life is play.
Yep.
And I think we haven't necessarily tapped in to what puts you in that playful state.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love to explore that further with you.
Yeah, no, totally. I think there's probably some toys from growing up that I could get down with. Lego sets that we work on as a family, just like the puzzles that we
Cool.
work on as a family. I think Legos are my version of puzzles. And even some relics, like I had a huge collection of baseball cards and pogs and all those things. I love collecting things. So not saying that we need to collect the baseball cards, but
Collector is one of the types of players, by the way.
collector is one of the types of players.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I collected Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joes, Legos, baseball cards, pogs, you name it. I was collecting them.
I didn't know that
Oh,
about
yeah.
you.
Mhm.
How cool.
Yeah. And
Fun.
I just love displaying them. I loved having them out. I love looking through them. I think that we could extend that to photo albums and scrapbooks
Mm-hmm.
for the family, putting those together. That's something that I could see being really good for us. I mean, our kids love looking through our wedding album, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's really hard these days with just all the photos on the phone. So maybe we could do some printing and get a photo printer set up or something like that. Just
That's
so that,
fun. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that idea. Write that down.
I mean, 3D printer would be awesome too at some point.
Okay.
I
You're
don't-
on a roll.
well, you know, I just think about these things and I'm like, I've come up with lots of exciting ideas for a someday rainy day thing in my mind, and this is bringing them out.
The time is now.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool.
Wow, Greg.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that we opened this space for play and you jumped right in.
I think just opening the dialogue about what it was that I like to do really was the inspiration there. So thanks for doing that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's cool.
I have one more note that is particularly impactful for intergenerational play, and that's spectator play. So Dr. Brown talks about some of his fondest boyhood memories are around watching games with his dad. And so I don't want to overlook that one as well, that especially for intergenerational connection, spectator sports can be a way to regularly experience mutual joy and share those experiences with others.
Yeah. This summer, we can hit some of the minor league games.
Yes.
I really do like baseball games.
We took Hunter with some of our work colleagues to a baseball game.
Yeah.
And she had absolutely no frame of reference
And she loved
for a
it.
baseball game and loved it.
Loved it.
Loved it. And we all had a great day.
It was great.
So I think that that's also a great way to bond and share connection.
Yeah.
Cool.
Agreed. Okay, more to come, I guess.
Yep. Absolutely. I look forward to reporting back on these experiments around play.
Stay tuned for next time when we will have some experiments to report back on.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. That's it for now.
Yep.
All right.
Love you, Goosey.
Love you, Goosey.